Hi, this is Brian from Flowtoys, and I'm going to show you how to install the wrap-on mask kit to the end of a contact staff. So when you get the kit, it comes with this long triangle-shaped piece of silicone. Comes with this little 1-inch piece of grippy tube and this extra little piece of overwrap. So we're going to be installing the heavy wrap-on kit so that the flat end ends right up where the end of the pod shell ends on the tube here. So it ends up being right below the holes that the flow cap would click into if we were using a flow cap. So let me take this off of here. And then you're going to be wrapping this guy on with the larger side, the large flat side, all the way up against where the pod shell is, just right below the holes there. So I'm going to get it started, and it's best to peel this plastic off as you go, just to keep things clean, because this kind of picks up dirt and hair and stuff. I'm going to try and keep it from touching the ground or my clothes or whatever. Just get it wrapped on, try and get a nice straight starting line at the top there, and then just really gently stretch it as you go. You don't need to put a lot of pressure or anything, just enough to keep it flat. And just don't worry about this angled side here. Just focus on the flat side and try and keep that lined up as you wrap it on, and just pull a tiny little bit of pressure. Alright, so let's get to the end here. You don't want the end to line up exactly on the edge, because there's going to be an overwrap of material that's holding this down. So you want it to come in a little bit inside of the edge. And then just take this tape, any kind of tape will work. Just tape it down there so it stays while you get started with the next step. It's really helpful to have some rubbing alcohol and a chopstick to help stretch this thing over. It's also really helpful to pre-stretch this guy out, because it has to stretch all the way over the end of the staff, or the end of the mast there. So get that guy nice and stretched out, set it aside for now. I'm gonna take this overwrap piece and also stretch that out a lot. Stretch it out quite a bit. Let's try and stretch it out evenly. Stuck to itself a little bit there, it's fine. So it has this one edge that's straight and this one edge that's kind of curved. And the curved edge, you're going to start at the top of the wrap-on kit, just overlapping onto the tube a little bit. I sort of hold it down with my thumb, use the other hand, stretch it around. It's a little bit tricky. Ooh, holding this big old staff is a little bit tricky. But once you get it just a little bit overlapped, it grips on really, really tight to itself. So now that I've got it set up, I'm going to resituate here. Now that I've got it set up, I'm just going to be always holding this really nice and tight and trying to get just kind of a consistent overlap of itself. I go for about a 1/4 inch. It doesn't really matter as long as it's overlapping a little bit. Keep on stretching it. Overlap a little bit more. Let's get close to the edge. And now that I've gotten all the way close to the edge, I'll peel off this little bit of tape. Just get rid of that. And then make sure I'm still maintaining a little bit of overlap. And then as soon as I get all the way to where my piece is touching the edge here, I'm just going to match that up. Match that up at the edge. keep it stretched nice and tight. Pull it all the way in. Just like with the other piece, you don't really want it to be all the way up at the edge. Kind of bring it in a little bit when you get to the end. And take this guy. This is kind of a bit of a trick because you have to hold down the end of the overwrap with your one hand while you get this guy stretched out. And this is where some rubbing alcohol really helps. So we get this covered in alcohol, stretch it over. And the first thing I'm focused on doing is getting it over that piece that my thumb's holding down. Oop. And once that's there, just get it stretched the rest of the way around. And kind of twist it into place. And it's pretty slippery right now, but once the rubbing alcohol all goes away and evaporates, it'll bind on there really tight and it won't move or anything. And there that is. Take it, stick your pod shell around it. There we go. It's the wrap-on mass installation.